What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is a super exciting day because we are back on the Trans Am, and as you can see, we have some new goodies. This is a BMR Turbo K-Member. Now, I am not putting a turbo in right now, but I did not want to do it again, so I bought the Turbo K-Member to begin with, and I will list this down in the parts below, or a link to it anyway. But we need to do some disassembly on the old one, and what that entails is we need to take the steering rack off because I did buy this for a factory rack. I did not want to go without power steering. I also need to take the brake lines off of the old K-Member. So that's what we're going to do today. While we're taking this off, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to put this in without the steering rack on it and then put the steering rack in later. But I do need to clean the steering rack up because when I was turning it, obviously some fluid spilled out. And you can see where some of the engine oil has leaked on the front side of this. So today, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to put this K-Member in the car for sure, and probably going to go ahead and clean up the steering rack like I said. Not sure if we're going to put it on or not, but let's get started. So the very first thing we're going to do is get the rack out of the way. 15mm on the top side, 18mm on the bottom. As you can see, I set it up on a block so I can reach the bottom side. So let's get those off and then we'll have the rack out of the way. Now, once the rack's out of the way, we have a couple 10mm here and here to get this brake line off. Same thing on the other side. And then in the center, we have a, it's like a push pin. So I'm gonna use my tool here to get the push pins out. Let's get those off. The next thing we need to disconnect is the wheel speed sensors. Same thing here, you're just gonna need a screwdriver to pop this open, and then I'm gonna use my little tool to pop these out. But other than that, we will be completely done with the old K-Member. Now that we got everything off of the K-Member, I'm gonna move on to getting ready for the new one to go in. So hunt down your bolts and these pieces that pulled out of the frame rail. I'm just gonna clean these up real quick with my steam cleaner and some simple green and a brush, just an old toothbrush, before I put those in. You're gonna see a lot of cleaning with this because I am very picky and I want everything to be clean when it goes back together. So I'm gonna run over these real quick and then we'll install these in the car and get ready for the K-Member to go in. Now, once we have everything cleaned up, we're gonna go ahead and slide these back into the frame rail. Now, I was unable to get this one out when I did all my painting, but I was able to tape it off. So I went ahead and installed the ones on the other side. This goes this side up, and it literally just pushes in back into place. Now, you're gonna wanna make sure on the other side, on the bottom side of the fender, that it is poking out, just like you see here. Both of these need to be pushed out. So if it's on the inside, you're not gonna be able to line it up. So now we're ready to get the K-Member into place. Now I've got my bolts lined up. The two long bolts go on the front side, and then the smaller bolt goes here in the back side. I'm getting ready to slide this back into place. Now I will tell you guys, if you're installing this with the motor in the car, you do have to remove some things, and the instructions from BMR are great, but I'm not installing, obviously I don't have a motor in the car, so I'm gonna wait and put the rack on later. But for now, let's go ahead and slide this thing under. I'm gonna start by putting in these two front bolts on both sides. Now this is gonna be a chore because I'm by myself, but I'm gonna kind of hold it up and get a couple of them started, and then I will go to the back. Okay, that was a little easier than I thought it would be for one person. Obviously, if you were trying to do this with the motor in the car, it would require 2 people. But now that we've got that into place, the backside comes with a washer. It's almost like a spacer, and it actually slides in here below, and then you can put your smaller one in the back. Now, once the K-Member's in the car, obviously we need to tighten up these bolts. Now, I'm gonna put a little bit of thread locker on them, so I'm gonna pull each one out individually, but they get torqued to, I called BMR the factory torque specs, which is 107 on these 2 fronts and then 92 on the back. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Like I said, I am gonna put a little bit of thread locker on it. You don't have to, but that's just my preference. Well, now that the K-Member's in the car and all torqued down, we're gonna go ahead and clean up the brake line brackets, and I'm gonna bolt those on next. So I'm gonna run my steamer over these real quick, get them all cleaned up, and we'll put those in. To put the brake line bracket back into place, and obviously it doesn't work, so we are going to have to cut this, and it does say that in the instructions that you may have to trim this. So we're going to cut this ear off right here. See, normally that would hook into the factory K-Member, this hook right here, but obviously this doesn't work. So what we need to do is cut this straight across on both sides, and then we'll be able to put it back into place, which is fine because honestly this looks like crap after I cleaned it. So I'm going to sand it down and just respray it with some black spray paint. I've moved outside and I've marked both pieces where we need to cut, and it's pretty much just straight across, so we're going to knock these out real quick. Well, I went ahead and put a coat of paint on those brake brackets, those brake line brackets. So while that's drying, this is like probably my least favorite part that I wanted to tackle, and that's cleaning up this steering rack. So I'm gonna use my steam cleaner and the brush and several towels, I'm sure, and some simple green. But let's get started on cleaning this thing. Like I said, it's gonna be an absolute nightmare. I'm sure it's not gonna come as clean as I want it, but anyway, we're gonna start on that. Well guys, I've cleaned on this for probably about half an hour, and while I was cleaning on it, one of the gaskets came out here, and it looks like some of the gaskets are bad and it's leaking in some other spots. So opposed to cleaning this all up, getting it in and it leaking, I'm just going to replace it. So there's a website called the Rack Doctor, and I'm gonna actually have him send me a new one. So as far as today, we're not gonna be putting the rack back on. I'm gonna wait to get a new one, and it comes end to end ready to install. So it comes with the lines and everything, and then you do have a rebuildable core cost. And It looks like it's about $290 if you get it with the tie rod ends, the outer tie rod ends. If you get it without that, it's $45 cheaper. So about 250 bucks, and that's with the core cost. So once you send the core back, they refund $65. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's move on to something else. All right, guys, so let's move on to this step. Now, I didn't tell you guys that I bought lower A-arms, but obviously I did. I wasn't gonna use the stamped ones. They were just really dirty and nasty, so I got a set of tubular lower control arms. I am gonna be reusing the stock top ones, but for the bottom, I just wanted to go ahead and get the whole kit. So that's what I got. So let's start by putting them in. And of course, I'll list this down in the description as well. It comes with both sides, and then I did opt for the new hardware kit just because I think it's a good idea when you're replacing stuff. You might as well replace the hardware as well. So let's get started on this. So the very first thing that we did was we took this out to the old A-arm and we lined this up. So we set this on top of it, and in order to get this as close as possible, because it's the only adjustment as far as out, set it on top of there, unscrewed it just a little bit in order for those to line up according to the old A-arm. Now, as far as alignment, I'm going to go ahead and put this into place, and then I'm going to measure the old one. On the if you're using the stock K-Member and you're going to put these back in, you can mark the alignment spots and put it back into place, but because we're replacing the K-Member as well, the alignment's going to be all screwed up, and that's something I'll get done once we finish the car up. But this is very important. The other thing that's important is this spherical end needs to be horizontal within this channel here. So it does come with these spacers or aluminum ends, and then it also says that if you need to, it comes with spacers. So if there's a ton of room in there, you need to use the spacers. A lot of times if you're using the BMR K-Member, you're gonna have to use the spacers. So let's get this slid into place, and we'll just run a bolt through both sides. Before I put this into place though, I am gonna put some grease on both sides of this bushing, and then we'll bolt it into place. Okay, I haven't taken this off of the old one because I'm gonna use it for measurements, but what I was talking about is you're gonna put this into place. Now I had it flipped upside down in order to get this in the proper spot. So with it upside down, you can see what I'm talking about. So you kind of line this up, and then you're lining up that other hole. So we wanna make sure we get it as close to there as humanly possible. And without having it out of the way, there's really no way to tell, but because I wanna use this for alignment purposes, kind of to see where my markings are, I'm going to measure from here to the top of the ball joint, or the center of the ball joint. This is the easiest way to do that without taking the arm off. Now, like I said, if you're taking the arm off, it's a little bit easier to get the exact measurement that you want, but let's get this thing put in. Things that I've noticed, guys, when I'm putting this in is I did have to thread that out a little bit more in order to get the holes to line up, but we are wanting that to be as horizontal as possible. So I did loosen that jam nut in order to get it to where I needed it. Now that I've got it where I need it, I'm going to go ahead and pull it back out and tighten up that jam nut, and then we'll be able to go ahead and thread the bolts in. I will say on this side, the washer does not clear, so you're going to have to put the washer up against the side here. Otherwise, it's going to hit this topper arm. So let me get this out of the way, get it tightened up, and we'll put it back into place. we now have the other side in. I haven't measured out exactly where the A-arm needs to go, but I will tell you that because, let me grab my light here. See how close this weld is on this washer right here? So I can't move the A-arm any further forward without doing something with this washer. So I'm gonna take this washer out. This is kind of some of those things that, you know, I mean, it's not gonna be perfect. This is jig welded, but what we need to do is we're gonna clearance some on the top side of that washer. That way it has room to move in and out. Not sure that I'm gonna need to move it in and out, but if I do, that is something that's gonna have to be done. So I'm gonna take this bolt back off, take this washer off, I'm gonna grind down the side of it, and then I'm gonna put it back into place, and that should give me the ability to move it in and out and at least get it close. So this is what I ended up doing. Like I said, that's gonna give me the ability to put that up in there and then still be able to move this around. So that's something that maybe yours will be a little bit different. You won't have to do that, but I had to do it. And not a big deal. Took like 2 seconds with the grinding or a flap wheel on a grinder. So we're gonna push this back through and get the nut back on. Well, everything is in. I don't have it tightened yet. I talked to BMR and they said really without the wheels and tires and the full weight on the car, you're not really gonna know as far as where to set these. Now I'm still gonna measure from the ball joint, the center of the ball joint in to where the actual K-member bolts. I'm gonna measure that on both and see if I can get it remotely close. Then I'm gonna go ahead and tighten them down. So once I do that, we'll be completely finished with the A-arms, and obviously we have to do the upper A-arms. Like I said, I'm gonna run the stock ones, so not gonna be doing aftermarket ones there. I'm gonna repaint the stock ones. So that'll probably be in the next video where we start maybe putting some of this other stuff together. But the other thing I want to do today is I got a set of LS6 heads. So these are off of a truck. And so I'm going to package them up and get them ready to ship off because I'm going to have them ported. And you know, I reached out to several companies. The ZR1 that you see above me here, I actually used AI and they were great. But I reached out to several different people, and the only one that sent me a message back out of probably 5 different people was Texas Speed. So Texas Speed is what I'm gonna go with. I'm one of those people that, look, I feel like if you're gonna spend money with somebody, they should at least be able to return your call or email. I emailed and called multiple places, including AI. They obviously didn't want to do it, so I'm going to send these off to Texas Speed. So kind of how this process works, I'm going to take out the spark plugs because the person I bought them from just left the plugs in it, and then I'm going to package them up and we're going to ship them off. Well, I got the spark plugs out. The downside is that luckily the person I bought these from broke a stud off here, and you can see the one sticking out here. This one here is going to require probably a nut being welded to it, but I talked to Texas Speed. They can get that out. I'm going to go ahead and try to heat this one up and get it out while it's here, because they do charge to take these out. So I'm going to try to heat that up with my torch and just twist this one out. It shouldn't be too bad, but this one here, like I said, I don't have a welder here, so I can't get that one out. Normally you can just weld a nut on the inside and you can just thread that out. Both the heat and being able to twist it out help. But let's get this one out, or try to get this one out anyway, and then we'll package them up. Well, as you can see, just heating it up, it came out fairly easy. You know, I wish that this one had a little bit more sticking out, and I would try to go ahead and get it out, but oh well, I'll have them take it out So now we're gonna package these up and then I'm going to ship them off. It generally takes them about a month, they said. So pretty easy process. They send you an email with all the information. You ship the heads. They charge you for the return shipping and everything that you need up front. Or if you order them over the phone, then they charge you when they ship them. So let's get these things packaged up. Well, we are finished up for today, guys. I got a lot accomplished, or at least I feel like I got a lot accomplished. I got the head shipped off. They said it'd be about a month before I got them back, which is fine because we have a ton of other stuff, as you can see. But we did get the K-Member in, the BMR Turbo K-Member. We got the lower A-arms on. Now, I did go ahead and measure from the front this bolt that mounts the rack, or the K-Member. I measured from that to the center of the ball joint, and then the back and the center of the ball joint, and I made those match what this one had. So that's as close as I'm going to be able to get it. Like I said, I talked to BMR, and they said the only way to really get it right is to, of course, to get it aligned, but I wanted to get it as close as possible so I'm not scrubbing off tires. I'll probably haul it to the alignment shop anyway, but you need to have it with weight on the front, and you need to have the suspension where it's going to be riding before you can even kind of see where things are going to land. So I still have a few other things to tie up. I need to put the grease cert down here on the bottom of the ball joint, and then I'm waiting for my brackets to dry that I painted so I can put the brake brackets on. And then of course I did order a new rack because my old one was leaking. But guys, hopefully you're liking this content. If you do, please smash that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed, please go down and subscribe. And while you're down there, ring that bell icon. That way you're notified every time we drop a new video. And well, stay tuned to see what kind of cool parts we put on this thing next.